might have to take notes on this bitch. Famous and Wealthy Podcast, man. Today we got my boy Jmapie. They say the biggest. And we got my boy Prince Ali, man. But Jmapie, why they call you the biggest?
I'm the biggest funder. When you come around me, you think bigger.
Okay.
The people around me become bigger. You know, this life is big.
Okay, and what about you, my boy?
I mean, I'm Prince Ali, man. I'm originally from New York, you know what I'm saying? I've been in this industry for about 5 years, been changing hundreds of lives, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's all about impacting as many people as possible and giving our people the information that they need because they left us out, man. They ain't teach us all this stuff in school, man. So you know what I'm saying? Now we here. We got to give it to our people, man.
Yeah, so
time to level up.
Break down a little bit about what do both of y'all do for the people who watching.
So what I do is I run a funding company, right? So I have a team of 14, and what we do is we assist people in pretty much building out their business profile and helping them get funded. But before we go over to the funding company, we pretty much have to make sure the foundation is right? And which is your credit report. A lot of people don't understand. They're walking around with a 700 credit score, but what you're walking around with is, let's just say $250,000 that you're not even accounting for. You're not grabbing.
Right.
See, here's the thing, right? What I've seen is like Elon Musk, he leveraged credit. You know, Damon John, he leveraged credit, right? All of these guys, even the CEO from Jersey Mike's, he leveraged credit. Why are we not leveraging credit as a people? We're coming from behind. Right. So what we want to do is get to the front of the line. We want to skip the line. So you ever been to Six Flags?
Yeah, I've been there.
So, you know, in the summertime, it's hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get the free refill drink, but you online. If you get off that line to go and get that free refill drink, guess what? You got to get back to the back of the line. What we do is we teach you, we give you the flash pass. We help you skip the line. We help you skip the line so you can get on that ride and walk past everybody because you know it. You understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what we doing is, man, I'm over here in the credit industry. I'm teaching people how to clean up their credit, how to build their credit the right way because what happens is, like I said, it's not something they teach us in school, right? So a lot of people don't know that they're able to leverage their personal credit to then maximize on the business side, right? Everybody talks about business funding, but nobody talks about the personal side, right?
Yeah.
They don't tell you the type of accounts that you need on your credit profile, right? They don't tell you that you need at least five accounts on your profile. They don't tell you that they don't tell you where you can go get them at, right? So since I'm on we're in a BANDMAN podcast, we're gonna go crazy. We gotta drop the sauce, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing you guys can do, right? If you need a credit card and you're like, damn, I need a high limit credit card. Where can I go? Listen, the first place you can go right now is nobody talks about this. First Tech Credit Union. So you go to First Tech Credit Union. Why? Because they're going to give you the bag. First Tech Credit Union is a credit union. And also, credit unions are not like the regional banks. So the regional banks, the thing about them is they can be stingy, right? Credit unions are going to give you the bag. So you go to First Tech. You log into the website. Once you get into the website, is a card called a Choice Rewards credit card. You sign up for the Choice Rewards. What's going to happen is they're going to tell you to add your bank account on there.
Wow.
They're going to tell you to add your bank account. Make sure you add the bank account that has the most transactions. Because once you do that, they're going to give you a limit based on that. Most credit card companies are just going to give you a limit based on your score, but they're going to give you a limit based on your cash transactions. So what happens is, like he said, the flash pass, it helps you skip the line. Right. So now when it's time for you to go get some funding and things like that, or apply for another credit card, First Tech already gave you a credit card with $20,000 limit. Now you can go apply for another credit union, which is 4Leaf. So if 4Leaf, man, if somebody already has a $20,000 credit card, right? What do you think the next company is going to give you if you already got a $20,000 credit card?
$20,000.
Exactly, right? They're going to give you that comparable credit. So now you already got 2 accounts now. So now you say you need 5 accounts, right? You can go apply for, let's just say a Credit Strong. You get Credit Strong on your profile. You can do a $20 a month payment plan for 6 to 12 months. Don't rush to pay that off because credit is all about showing lenders that you can pay things over time. So now you get that account on your profile. You got 3 now. Remember I said you need 5, right?
Yeah.
Now you can say, you know what? I'm paying my rent every single month. How about I get my rent reported on my credit, right?
Yep.
You can go now they got a credit card that just came out last month. So nobody talking about this. Last month. They came out with a bill credit card. So the bill credit card, you can now use that to pay off your rent.
Oh, wow.
You heard what I said, right? To pay your rent. Because most of the time when you're trying to pay your rent now, they'll tell you that you need to have, it's charged like 3%. So if your rent is $3K, they'll charge you $300 to pay your rent. So now the bill credit card allows you to pay your rent without getting those charges and also allows you to build points. So that's the bill credit card. I gave you 4 accounts. I'm going to give you 1 more, right? So now you can, I mean, come on, man. Look where we at, man.
We on the
We got to drop the game, right? So now you can go and for the 5th credit card, because remember, I already gave you all these other credit cards. You can go and you can apply for a pre-approval with Chase or even Capital One. The pre-approval is not going to hurt your score. So now because you got two 20K credit cards now, you go apply for that. Now they're going to give you a comparable limit. They give you a high limit on that. Now you set up and you're ready for funding. Your profile's where it needs to be. All you got to do is make sure you're paying these things on time, man. And you're off to the races.
Wow. And then here's the thing, right, Kevo?
Yeah.
So now we got the foundation right. Credit is right. We got comparable credit. Because here's the thing. The gurus, what they tell you online is if you have a 700 credit score, we can get you funded. No, it's so many other factors. Comparable credit, how your business is properly structured. So now once we have everything set up, next thing we're going to do is we're going back to the banks, right? This time we're going to establish a relationship with them. What's the best way to establish a relationship with a bank? By making deposits, open up an account, deposit account. See, the average person, what they're going to do is when they want a credit card, they're going to drop $2,000, $3,000 in the account. Now, we want to show the banks that we here to stay and not here to play. What we want to do is we want to break down what we will put in there. So if it's $2,000, we want to break it down 500, 500, 500 because it shows consistency. And what happens is you're tricking the algorithm, right? So once we have that, let's just say, for instance, we go to Chase. We go for the Chase Inc. cash card, right? We get $50,000 from Chase Inc. Now, what happened is the average person tell you, yeah, it's 12 months, 0% interest. But here's the thing. We can go to 24 months, Kevo. Let me break it down. So let's just say when we get that Chase Inc. cash, right?
Yeah.
We spending it, we running the plays, right? Because obviously when we get this funding, we want to make sure we running the plays. After we get the $50,000, what we can do is after the year's up, when we're at the end of our introductory period, we can go for the Chase Inc. Unlimited card. But now we can combine those cards and make them one, and your 0% interest period starts over.
Oh my God.
So now you got 24 months, but we're not done yet. So what we'll do after that is we want to go to Elon Financial Banks. Why? Because Elon Financial Banks, you don't necessarily need a relationship to get funded by them. Right? So let's just say, and I'm going to give you some Elon Financial Banks, U.S. Bank, Ameris Bank. Here's the beautiful thing. If your foundation is not right, you can go to Elon Financial Bank, right? You can go to Elon Financial Bank and get a credit card, 21 months on the personal side, 0% interest. Almost 2 years. What would you do if you had 21 months to run a play?
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's nuts, right?
21 months is
let
crazy.
me break that down. So 21 months on the personal side. So that's how we build up our foundation. Now, when we go to the business, we got 18 months. But here's the thing. When the 18 months run up, there's other products we can go for. And then also, too, U.S. Bank is the best with balance transfers.
Ooh.
So now we can transfer that money over to pay off any card if we're coming up at the end of a 0% interest period. So people always tell you for 12 to 18 months. Nah, it could be for a lifetime if you know how to work it. There's over 400 banks with 0% interest funding. But what happens is we don't know that because we're not educating ourselves, right? And this is the things that we're going to be teaching in the 5-day. But to get back to that was a side note.
So you don't get caught holding the bag, right?
Yeah,
you don't get caught holding the bag.
So
get
y'all
caught
got
holding
a
the bag.
5-day coming up that y'all gonna be breaking down way more sauce.
Way more sauce.
Way
so listen,
more sauce.
Listen, but before we do that, we're going to sauce them up here.
Okay,
And then what
okay.
they going to say is, damn, they gave us all of this. Imagine what they're going to give us on the 5-day.
5-day.
Oh my God, we can't
yeah.
put
We're
everything
gonna
on
sauce
here.
them up.
Exactly, I get it.
So
Okay.
here's the thing, too, I see, Kevo, is a lot of people, what they do is they're looking for funding, right? I'm in Minnesota, but I'm looking for funding in New York, New Jersey, right? I'm looking down in Florida. Why are we not looking in our backyards? Right? So here's the thing. I want you guys to take notes. You can go to bankbranchlocator.com. At the top right-hand corner, you can put your zip code in. It will show you every single bank in your backyard. Some of the banks that we walking by with our kids, picking our kids up from school, is giving out the bag, and we don't know it. It's in our backyard. We walking right by.
Right.
So now you go to Bank Branch Locator. Now you have a long list of banks in the backyard. What you want to do is get up and just go to the bank. Go meet somebody. Go meet a relationship manager. Why do we want relationship managers? We want relationship managers because if you apply online like the masses, guess what happens? You're going to get a masses approval. You're going to get a generic approval, 5 to 15K. But if you go and meet a relationship manager, you can request a DocuSign and request the amount of money you want.
Whoa, never knew that.
You know what I'm saying? You can request the amount of money
good
you
game.
want.
Good
So
game.
you want to go in your backyard and run the plays.
Yeah.
And what happens is we're looking in New York, Florida, Alabama. Nah, go to your backyard. Go to those local banks. Get to know them. Sit down. See, the average thing, what happens is, Kevo, our clients, a lot of people, right, they walk into the banks and they like, yo, what do I qualify for? Nah, our clients, our students, they're walking into the banks like, yo, what promotions do you have? I got 400,000 right now in American Express. If I bring that money over to you right now, what promotions can you give me? Because what happens is we're all being used here. We're using the banks are using us. Because when we make that deposit into the account, guess what happens, Kevo? They're going to leverage that money towards mortgages, auto loans, banks, you know what I'm saying? Mortgages, auto loans, let's just say so many other things, right? They're going to leverage our money. Even though our money is physically there, we don't see it because they're leveraging it. And the banks are going to launder the money and move it around, right? So we want to make sure we're running the plays as well. So it's establishing those relationships with those banks. And that was just 2 banks, right? Because you got Truist. Those are regional banks. 0% interest, 12 months. Bank of America, 0% interest, 6 months. But again, the period never ends because we can constantly run the plays over and over.
Yo, can I talk to them about? Can I talk? Hold on, can I talk to them about? Because the people sometimes you got people that say, you know what, but I don't have a lot of credit age though. My credit hasn't been established for way too long.
What you got for that? What you got for that?
So this is for those of you that say, listen, my credit hasn't been established for way too long. This is what you do. There's a thing called, first off, everybody goes online. They tell you, oh, you know, just get an authorized user and pay this and pay that, right? But authorized user is basically not your credit, right?
Right.
It is cool. It's cute, right? It's cute. But what if I told you that you can use your rent and backdate it and start getting that age now? So first one, you can go to BoomPay. BoomPay. You sign up for BoomPay. You can you can let them know exactly what your rent is. They'll look at your account. You add your bank account in there. You can backdate it 5 years now. So now you got 5 years of age. What happens is age makes up 15% of your credit score.
Hold on, Ali. Because what happened is the gurus online, what they saying is rent reporters and Rental Karma. So you saying you could go to BoomPay?
Yeah, you can go to BoomPay. 5 years, you back that up, and you can get that on your report. So now you got 15% of that credit score, which makes up 82 points. Now you got that age now, right? And then what happens is you can go to rent reporters too as well. You can give rent reporters too as well. So you get rent reporters, you can backdate that 2 years, right? Why not? So now you got 2 other trade lines, which is not authorized trade lines. Those are primary trade lines. And for those, primary. So that means those are your accounts.
Yes, sir.
Because what happens is when people's trying to go for lending, they go and they sign up for so many authorized user accounts. They get their mom, they get their brother, they get their sister, but the banks are lending to you. They're not lending. They want to know what you can do. They don't want to know what moms can do because her credit is good. They don't want to know what your cousin could do because their credit is good. They want you to do your thing. But now, if you got those accounts, you say, you know what? You could add an authorized user. I'm not against it, but I'm gonna say that build your own profile up and backdate your own accounts. But then if you want an authorized user, you can do that, right? You can call your mom, you can call your cousin, you can get that on your profile. But you do want to make sure, because a lot of people are adding authorized user in their profile, but they do not know what kind of accounts that they need. So if you want somebody to add you as an authorized user, make sure that the credit card has a high limit. That's the first thing. Okay. Make sure that the credit cards are not maxed out. That's another thing, right? Because if it's maxed out, 30% of your credit score is made up of usage. So if they maxing out your credit card, guess what? You share that account with them. Right. It's on your profile, right? Then you got to make sure whatever card they add you on doesn't have any late payments. You got to make sure they're not struggling financially. It doesn't have any late payments. Because if they have a late payment, who got a late payment now? You. Exactly, right? So those are the things you guys want to look out for and make sure that card has a lot of age. Age is the most important thing. So now you get those accounts on your profile and you put that on your report. So now when you start to apply for other accounts, they start to help you out and they start to, your credit is boosted now because of those accounts. And then also now it makes your chance of succeeding and to get higher limits much higher now because banks don't want to deal with profiles that just started out. They don't like to deal with those. They want to know that you're true to this and you've been doing it for quite some time. So that's the way that you can speed up your age, and that's the way that you can maximize on your age for those of you that don't have enough age on your credit profile. I just gave y'all all the source that they're not teaching on the internet at all.
And I want to say this too, Kevo. You know what I'm saying? I want to say this, right? One thing he said was obviously how to add age. Because here's the thing. When we start to apply for cards, your credit age decreases. So that's why you want to go get BoomPay. You want to go and get Rental Karma because it gives you 5 years, 2 years to keep your credit age at a respectable place. See, when you walk into the banks, they want to know, again, that you're true to this, you're not new to this, right? So they want to know, do you have 2 years or more of credit history? Have you been leveraging it for that amount of time? But here's the thing. We're scaring a lot of people, Ali, because what happened is we're saying apply, apply, apply. Some people are inquiry sensitive. Right? So we want to break down ways that they can go about not having to just get an inquiry, right? So here's the thing. What you can do is you can go to google.com and you can type in credit card pre-approval. Chase has a credit card pre-approval. Capital One has a credit card pre-approval. Discover has a credit card pre-approval. So many other banks. But what we like to go is to credit unions, again, because those are nonprofit. right? So they want to build a relationship with you. If you're a part of organizations, they want to build a relationship with you, right? So now what we can do is we can go over to a Christian Community Credit Union. We can go over to a Wings Federal Credit Union, and we can go and pre-approve. But here's the beautiful thing, Kevo, we can double dip. And let me break down double dip, right? So what we can do is when we go and pre-qualify, they'll approve you for not one product but 3. So now you'll get pre-approved for a credit card, an auto loan, and you'll get pre-approved for an installment loan. See what I'm saying? So now you're getting 3 products for the price of 1.
Wow.
So now we're not sitting here running everywhere just getting inquiries. So we want to pretty much break it down that way where we're strategic. We're not shooting darts in the dark. We want to know exactly where we're going, what's our goal, how to get to it as soon as possible. Because again, right, if you look at it, right, if you never been there before, you can't go there. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think about it, if I'm driving on the highway, right, I'm driving on the highway and I don't have GPS on it. I don't know where my destination is. I'm going to pull over a few times. What happened is I'm going to miss a few turns. I'm going to pull over and kick the wheel and be frustrated. But this is why you need a GPS. This is when we come in and we're the strategists and we help you get to your goals quicker. Because the problem is a lot of people, they say in order to go far, you got to run with someone. You know, in order to go fast, you run by yourself. But here's the thing. This is a marathon. This shit ain't a race.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to pretty much break down, obviously, the foundation. Like, if you could go a little bit, elaborate, like, how people, because we're talking too much about credit cards and everything. How can people, right? How can people pretty much fix their credit report?
All right, so for those the do-it-yourself warriors, right? I'm gonna give y'all something super crazy right now, right? Nowadays, you gotta understand, right? We're in a technology era. AI is taking over, right? AI is completely taking over. What if I told you that to fix your own credit report, you can put your credit report through AI, ChatGPT, and get your full credit report from there, right? So this is what you guys do. I'm gonna give you guys actionable steps. Make sure y'all taking notes and make sure y'all taking action, because information is on us, execution is on you guys, right? We can give you all the information in the world, but if you're not doing nothing about it, you're gonna still be in the same position, right?
48 hours.
So listen, right?
Run the play.
Within 48 hours, exactly.
Yeah, you got to run the
so
play
listen,
within 48 hours.
this is what you do. You can go get your credit report, right? You can go to Smart Credit. You can go to Experian. You can go to annualcreditreport.com. They'll give you a free credit report, so there's no excuse. Oh, but I got to pay for this, and it's not going to give you a hard inquiry. Let me tell you that right now, because what people get scared of is checking their credit, because they say, you know what, they're going to give me an inquiry. Or they may think that, you know what, I don't want to see what the hell is on my report. But guess what? If you're scared of it, you're never going to be able to do anything about it. Right. So you get your report, because now we got ChatGPT. You copy and paste the whole report, y'all. And what you do is you copy it and put it in ChatGPT. And you tell ChatGPT, can you please create me some dispute letters so I can send to Experian, so I can send to Equifax, and I can send to TransUnion. So what happens is ChatGPT is going to cook up them dispute letters. You're going to say, listen, I need to get these items off my report. They're affecting my credit. Please make me 3 strong letters, right? This is my first round of disputes. ChatGPT is going to send out that letter. So once they send out that letter, what's going to happen is you're going to copy that, you're going to use that, you're going to put it in the letter, and you can send it out. So now ChatGPT is creating dispute letters for you, right? Then what you can do is you can also, now just say that you send out dispute letters, still stuff on there. I'm going to show you how to attack it many ways so you can get the most effective results, right? You can also go to the CFPB.com. The CFPB is a Consumer Financial Bureau Protection. Their job is to make sure that credit agencies is doing their job and they're being compliant. So now you can send out your disputes to the consumer agency and you can say, yo, listen, I'm sending out my disputes and I'm trying to get these items on my credit report, and these items are affecting my report. I've sent out a dispute last month and it's still on there. And also what you can do when you send out the letters, you can backdate it. A lot of people don't know that, right? Because they got 30 days to respond. So instead of you putting today's date, you can backdate that letter 30 days, right? Or even 15 days. So what happens is it puts them in a position where it shows them that they got to do what they got to do. If not, they're out of compliance. So for them to start giving you results is much more effective because they're out of compliance now, right? So then also, I just showed you 2 ways. You send it to the CFPB. It's completely free to sign up. You can also leverage the Attorney General office. Every one state has an Attorney General, y'all. The Attorney General job is to make sure that companies are not taking advantage of the consumers and the people that live in that state. So when you send a letter to the Attorney General's office, you say, hey, I'm in California, and this company here is taking advantage of me. That happened to me. It's crazy, right? Because they help you so much that even happened to me. I lost my Facebook, right? I sent the letter through the consumer agency to Facebook. Facebook is a big company, but nobody's above the law. The consumer agency got at Facebook and got me my account back, right?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. They there to protect us as consumers.
Damn,
so
that's
now,
free game.
listen, Bandman, I'm going to give you the fourth one, right? Because we on your show. There's no gatekeeping.
Yeah.
The fourth one, y'all, is the BBB. You can go to the Better Business Bureau, y'all, and send out your same dispute that you sent through from ChatGPT and you sent to CFPB. You can send it through the BBB, and you can send it directly to the BBB, and you could put all of the bureau's name and everything, and you can have it sent out to there. So you know to send your dispute 4 different ways, y'all. So things are definitely gonna land. They're gonna fall off, and your results are gonna be crazy. So guys, that's something that you guys can all do. I just gave y'all 4 different ways, and y'all learning from somebody that's been doing this for over 5 years. I done helped 1,000 of people clean up their credit report. I done help people get into homes. We done help people get into cars. We done help people get hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding. So you're learning from somebody that does this in the real time. I actually do this as a business and not a hustle. So if y'all get this information from me, y'all just got to make sure that y'all execute, and I'll show you that these things will come off your profile, and now you'll be able to level up, because how can you level up if your credit is not where it needs to be, right? Yeah. You need to even to get your lady of your dreams and the lady that you want, you got to have good credit nowadays, right?
Sure, for sure.
Even to get into a home that you want, you got to have good credit, right?
Dream house.
Anything.
You need it.
Anything.
Listen, so here's the thing too, right? Because what happened is we're leaving out people who don't have anything negative on their report. But what happened is they have high usage, and that's why they have bad credit.
Yeah, what do you do with them, Jay? Those guys that's maxed out, like struggling, and their credit cards is so high, and then now they 30% of their credit score is usage, so they're paying every single month monthly payments, but most of that money is going towards the interest and not even the balance. So they're damn, why the hell my balance not going up? What do they do?
So listen, I want to break something down for you guys, right? So obviously, again, what he said is 30% of your credit score consists of credit card usage, card usage, revolving accounts, right? What we can do is we can go and get an installment account. So we can go and get a personal loan. We can go to banks like SoFi, Upstart, Upgrade, right? We can go over to Lightstream. And what we can do is get a loan. Once we get that loan, here's the thing. Typically with credit cards, your credit, if you're not in the 0% interest period, you're 22 to 30% in credit cards.
All right.
So when you pay the minimum balance, you're just paying interest. So it's like you're a hamster on the wheel. You stuck. If you ever go on the app and you look, right? And when how long is it going to take me to pay off this card if I put this amount? It's going to be 20 years. 20 years. So if we go get an installment loan, right, to pay off that credit card, guess what? Our credit score is going to go up. Why? Because installment loans don't reflect as credit card usage. So here, I want to give you a play, because we on the Bandman Kevo podcast. We ain't
JJ, no gatekeeping.
Right? We here.
So,
So look, I want to bust it down
Where can
for
they
y'all.
go?
So here's the thing. You guys can go a simple place, and we all got it. We can go to Credit Karma. We can go to Credit Karma, and what we're going to do is we can hover over the loans tab. Now, keep in mind, they're going to ask for 2 things, your yearly income and then your rent. Keep in mind, if your rent is 30% of your yearly income, you're not going to be approved for a loan. Think like the banks. They know you have other life expenses, right? Yeah. So what we do is it's going to be a tab, and it's going to say from 0 to 50,000. You can hover that tab up and down, up and down. Now, if you get outstanding approvals, guess what? These are all pre-qualification. If you get outstanding approvals, that's cool. You may be approved. But if you get Credit Karma guaranteed, do the money dance. Why? Because it's going to be purple too. Do the money dance. And why, right? And I'm going to break it down. Because Credit Karma was sued. They were sued for giving false pre-approvals. So if you get the Credit Karma guaranteed and you're not approved, they have to pay you. Now, what billion-dollar company want to pay you?
Right.
See what I'm saying? What billion-dollar company want to pay you?
My God.
They don't want to pay nobody. So here's the thing. As soon as you have that Credit Karma guarantee, you want to hover over that and go apply for that loan. Now, if you're not approved, you can go back to Credit Karma and they have to pay you directly. You know what I'm saying? So this is the things that they don't teach us in school. Right. See, like my man Ali always say, when we go to school, they teaching us Pythagorean theorem, R squared, B squared. You know what I'm saying? Pi. These are the things we don't use in life. One thing we do use is credit, right? Credit gives you leverage. It gives you freedom. This is how you take your life to the next level.
No cap.
Right? Yeah. So here's the thing. 7 out of 10 people in America have bad credit. And we need credit. Like he said, you can't even have the woman of your dreams without good credit. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. When she want that dream house, when she want that dream wedding, guess what? It requires credit.
It does.
So we want to build up that foundation, but I want to kind of love on other people, right? Because we got service workers, right? And I want Ali to break this down because he got some sauce on this. You know what I'm saying? If you could bust that down, if you can, that's crazy.
So listen, right? It's crazy that we got our public service workers, right? But our public service workers are drowning, man. A lot of them are drowning, man, because they got student loan debts. and they student loan debts, especially at a time right now, a lot of people's student loan debts are late.
So look, for people that don't know what a public service worker is, break that down.
So a public service worker is, just say if you were a cop, you were military, or you're a doc, you're a fighter, right? And you're working for the public. Just during COVID, these are the people that had to be out there and servicing.
Okay.
While we was indoors, they had to work, because if they stop working, everything stops, right?
Exactly.
People start dying. You can't do nothing, right?
Yeah.
So why are these people suffering from their student loan debts, right? So a lot of these people went to college so they can help out the world. They can change lives. But a lot of these people cannot do what they got to do because they're struggling. Late payments and drop their school loans from they drop from 800 to a 500 credit score.
Hold on, Ali.
Because
imagine a firefighter going into a house that's on fire, right? But you're back in everything. Your life is not right. It's like you can't perform your best to go and save that person's life because you're back in not right. Your credit not right. You're not living in the house you want. You stressed. You don't have money. But you got to go in and save that person's life. You got to climb into a building and pull them out of fire. See, what he do is he save people's lives, and he gonna break it down because here's the thing: if the back end is right, you can run into that building knowing you good. Your family's straight for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So break that down.
So let me tell you exactly what they can do, right? So for those of you that's public service workers, or even just have student loans in general, right? This works for everyone, right? What you can do is, because student loans are federal, you can't run away from it. If you're trying to get a mortgage, most of the time they're going to use an FHA loan. They're going to check your profile. That's all federal. They all tied together. And then also, if you're not taking care of your student loan, they can even take your money from your taxes. Ain't that crazy? Imagine you done worked your whole year. Now it's time for you to get taxes. You done had a big plan. You say, you know what? When I get my tax refund, I'm going to go do this. And then the feds just took your money, right, to pay off your student loans. Now you sick, right? So this is how you avoid that, right? So you can go to the federal student loan website.com. You can log in. Everybody has an account. If you don't have an account, you can put forgot password. Everybody should have an account or create one. When you get in there, it's going to tell you exactly what your student loans are. Now you call up the company. You say, listen, my student loans I need my student loans to be deferred, right? Because what happens if you have late payments right now, you can defer your student loans, right? But then also the people that are suffering with late payments at the very moment, you call them and you say, you know what? I need you to do a retroactive forbearance or even defer my student loans. And they're going to defer it for you. They're going to give you a form to fill out. And when you fill out the form, this is the secret, y'all. Pay attention. The secret is, when you fill it out, they're going to tell you what date do you want the start date to be. The start date has to be before a month or two before that the late payment occurred. Because if you do not do that, what happened is they're going to instantly put you in deferment and they're not going to retroactive it. So you want it to be retroactive. So all the late payments that occurred at that time comes off your student loans now. So now you back into the 800 or 700s now. So all them points that came down because your student loans, usually when they report it on the profile, it's about 5 to 10 accounts. So when you get one late payment on one, you get one late payment on every account. So, and the student loan start at 90 days. So now that's how you do that. Now I'm going to show you how to get into income driven. This is good because people's like, I don't want to pay my goddamn student loans. I'm gonna just avoid them. Why avoid them when they're going to catch up to you later? This is what you do. You call up the student loan providers. You say, you know what? I want to opt into an income driven repayment plan. Now this is a secret. Even if you're making a lot of money, the secret is when you call in for income driven repayment plan, they're going to tell you how much you make. But then this is a secret. What is your household size? Remember, you in a household size, you got your mom there, right? You got your pops there. You got your lady there. You got your brothers. You got your sister. Now that's probably about 5 people, right? If you got that cousin that's always staying over, you know that cousin that's always staying over, come over to play, every now and then start bringing a little bit of clothes. Before you know, his ass lived there. He live in a house too. He getting mail there. He lived there too. You add him on there too. Now, guess what? Even if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, you're a public service worker now you got 5 or 6 people living in your home. Guess what now? Now your payments go as low as $0. So I've seen people with student loan payment go as low as $0, and that counts. So for public service loan forgiveness, they require you to have 10 years of payments. So $0 count as payments. So if you do that for 10 years, now just say you had $200,000 or $300,000 in student loans, all of that is forgiven. So now you don't went to school and your federal student loans, you didn't pay anything because you used the system, you leveraged the system. So you basically went to school without paying your federal student loans. A lot of people are not going to tell you that. So that's why the system is there for us to design for us to get a better understanding of it, because it don't work in our favor. But that's why you need people like us, because we have the strategies. These are the strategies that's going to save more people money in their people are going to be able to keep more money in their pocket. These are the right strategies that's going to save you time, energy, and money. That money that you could have been using to pay off your student loans to get yourself in good standing, you are now using that to take care of your family and put that money back into something else that's going to generate you income. Why continue to suffer because you do not have the proper information? That's why information is key, y'all. I'm telling you, they say, yo, if you want to hide information from a person, put it in a book. Why? Because they never gonna go there. Well, guess what? This is an era where you guys are getting information because we got social media. Social media is the biggest tool right now. We got people overseas from third world countries becoming rich off of social media, y'all. Yep. I'm sure you see it, man.
Yeah.
Third world countries, they getting rich. Even if they're using it the wrong way. Women are the most smartest right now in the industry because women know how to take advantage of everything. They taking advantage of social media. They running the plays. You got girls in third world countries, man, over here like this and that. But if you look in the background, you see them in the village. You're like, wait, what the hell? But they running up a bag because they know that the phone is a tool to leverage, and they leveraging us. So why can't we leverage the social media and the tools and people like us that's giving information to get ahead in life? These are the things that we need to do, and they're not teaching us in school. Yeah. So it's time for you guys to take action, man, because we give you information. And to have this type of conversation with me and him, we charge Bandman, to have a one-on-one conversation with us, honestly, just a consultation, we charge over $5,000, right?
Right.
Even to get mentored by me and him, we charge over $20,000 to get mentored by me and him individual. So this information that we giving people right now is completely free, and we giving it because we in front of your platform, and we know that if we're in your platform, we got to give out the source, especially if somebody been spending all that time to sit here and watch us. We ain't gonna waste their time.
Exactly. And for people that's that, let's say if they don't got $20,000, do you guys have like a smaller community they can go to? Like a school or a Patreon? Like me, I got a Patreon. I got some people paying $50. I got some people paying $200 a month. Like you got smaller tiers like that that's monthly?
We actually run. Yeah, so Kevo, how I was breaking it, let me break this down for you, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
What happened is we see a lot of people, they go into other people's backyards for funding. So I'm in New York City, but I'm going for funding in Alabama. I'm going for funding in Texas. I'm going for funding in New Jersey, right? But what we could do is we could go to bankbranchlocator.com. And when we go to bankbranchlocator.com, we can go to the top right-hand corner, put our zip code in, right? Once we put our zip code in, it's going to show every bank that's in our backyard. What you want to do after you do that is you want to walk over to those banks and get to know relationship managers within those banks. Because here's the thing. When the banks are pivoting, the relationship managers, they'll educate you and update you and give you information. Also, we don't want to apply like the masses, right? What happens is when you apply like the masses online, you get these generic approvals from $5,000 to $15,000. But if you go through a relationship manager, you can request the amount of money you want via DocuSign. This is the game that they're not teaching you, right? So here, boom. Next thing we could do is we can go over to creditboards.com. Creditboards.com is a forum. So now you have people in the chat saying, hey, I was approved for an Amex Platinum at a 680 credit score. These are the comparables I had. And if your comparables match their comparables, you can go over to an Amex and apply. So a lot of people don't understand the tools we have in front of us. Or leveraging those pre-approval tools, right? You can go to google.com, and pretty much what you can do with the google.com is you can go through a pre-approval tools. You can type in credit card pre-approval. Right. When you type in credit card pre-approval, what you see is basically Chase, Capital One, Discover, Amex, right? They have pre-approval tools. But my favorite pre-approval tools are always going to be credit unions. Why? Because they're giving out the money, right? They're giving out the money. So they're nonprofit, right? So I want you to understand this, Kevo, right? If you could go to a Christian Community Credit Union, a Wings Federal Credit Union, once you go to these banks, right, when you pre-approve, you can double dip with them. A lot of people don't understand that. You can double dip with them. So now what you do is when you pre-approve, they're going to approve you. They'll basically pre-qualify you for 3 products, right? So a credit card, an auto loan, and you can go for an installment loan, right? So now you're getting 3 for 1. A lot of people don't understand. So now you're getting 3 products for 1 with 1 inquiry. It's super important that they understand that, right? So I want to say this too, right? Because the average person, what they do is they walk into the banks and they say, hey, what do I qualify for? Nah, my students and my clients, what they do is they walk into the bank and say, yo, you know what? I got $400,000 with Amex. What is it going to cost for me to bring my money over here? And what do I qualify for? What do I know? I'm going. What products do you currently have? You know what I'm saying? So now we understand, all right, cool. Oh, they'll break down everything they have. Chase, obviously, we have the Chase Inc. Cash card. We have the Chase Inc. Unlimited card. U.S. Bank is going to pretty much go through what they have for you, right? And because you're bringing money over, that is the best way to establish a relationship with the banks, right? Yeah. So pretty much you want to be able to give your clients that, right? You want to be able to teach. We're teaching our students that every single day, right? Because here's the thing. If you have a relationship manager, right, and you don't get the approvals you want, here's what you can do now. If you don't get the approvals you want, because you came off to the relationship manager as an established business, right? Because one thing we said is if we're going for a credit card, we're saying, hey, we're using it for working capital, payroll, right? Also marketing, right? We're running it with ads, influencer promotion, right? We're on the podcast right now. So if you're telling the relationship manager, this is what you need the funding for, if you don't get the approval you want, they're going to go back to the underwriters and say, yo, what's going on? Right? They're going to fight for you. They're going to say, what's going on? This person has this going for themselves, this going for themselves, this going for themselves. Let's get them approved. They're going to fight for you. But if you come to the bank and say, what do I qualify for? I don't know what my projections are. I don't know what my stated income is. Then guess what? You're not going to get the approvals you need. So here's the thing, right? A lot of people don't understand this, Kevo. Here's the thing. There's three different, it's projected income, there's stated income, and there's household income. A projection is if you had everything, if you had the money, you had everything established, right? You had all of it established, what you're going to make, right? Stated income is what you state. And then household, if you live with your aunt, your uncle, your sisters, your brothers, what you want to do is leverage everybody's income together in order to get that approval. But what happened is a lot of people are going into the banks and they don't know that. They're just giving them their raw income. And that's not how you grow. So here's the thing, Kevo, I want to know, like, the first thing people need to know, obviously, Kevo, is mindset, right? We have to fix our mindset, our thought process. Yeah. Because what happens is we'll go in with 4-figure habits trying to get 7 figures. Now, we got to reestablish everything, roll it all back, and then go, right? We want to come into the banks like we that person. I'm him, I'm her, when I go into the banks, because if you come off that way, that's what they're going to give you, right? Okay. See, what happens is if you don't have the right mindset, you ever seen people who won the lotto? So what happens is, because they didn't have the right mindset, 90% of people who won the lotto, they go broke. Because they didn't have a millionaire mindset. They had a broke mindset to begin with. So they did a scratch off or whatever, they put numbers in, and they won the lotto. But what happens is you got to become that person before you go in there. You got to become that person. See, even for you, Kevo, you had to become that person. Like, you already know you him. You already know you're going to spend that amount of money, right? Because what are you spending a month right now?
On ads?
Yeah, on ads.
Maybe like 300.
300 because you believe in yourself and you know it's going to bring you back, whatever, 3X, 4X, 5X.
Right, exactly.
So at the end of the day, the average person is not spending the money on themselves. The average person is not learning the tools to take their life to the next level. Right. And that's what happens. And 90% of the time, what happens is the average person, they might be the best at what they do, but they the best kept secret, right? Because the world don't know them. You could be the best at taxes. You could be the best at basketball. You could be the best at anything you do. But if the world don't know, you're the best kept secret. Right. So it's like, what do we do to elevate our life? We start to take those tools. This is why we have a 5-day mentorship where we're teaching people actionable steps to take their life in their hands. Because here's the thing. The average, a lot of people, what happens is they're going back to the same neighborhoods they hate. They working for the same boss that they dislike. And here's the thing. They're smiling with the boss knowing they hate him, right? And guess what? A lot of people are not taking care of themselves. Why not learn this tool so you're able to change your life and get around people like you and I? Right? Because here's the thing. If you're around 7 millionaires, you'll become the 8th. But if you're around 8 broke people, you become the 9th.
Exactly.
So it's like, what do you do now? Right? It's about getting in the right rooms and going to the people who have the lifestyle you want. That's why we're not just funding anybody, Kevo. Like, we're not just funding anybody. We're not just, if you come in and say, yo, I just need money, what you need it for, we need to know why. Why? We need to know why so we're able to help you elevate, you know what I'm saying, and grow the money, not just go spend the money. See, I had a young boy come to me, and he was like, yo, listen, I need funding. I'm like, what for? He's like, I want my peers to realize me. And I was like, what you mean you want your peers? He was like, so I'm going to go and get chains. I'm going to go and get some clothes. I'm like, no. Your peers are going to realize you for what you do. Why do we know Michael Jordan? Because he was one of the best hoopers in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, why not have your peers notice you for what you do? What do you like to do? He ended up building out an e-commerce brand, and now he's making over multiple 6 figures right now a year because we were able to help him get the funding, but we first had to come up with a strategy. See, I'm gonna tell you now, a lot of these funding industry is deep, credit repair industry is deep. But what they're selling is relationship managers and all that, which anybody can get, which we're gonna get to, right? But what I'm selling is strategy. I'm teaching you that you can change your lineage, you can change your kids' life with the information we're giving you. Right? And I'm teaching you how to stay ahead of the gun, right? Because as you build these relationships with relationship managers, they're gonna tell you how the banks are pivoting. So I don't know if you know, what you can do is you can go over, right? For somebody that's in an industry, right? And maybe they don't know how to get a relationship manager. There's multiple ways you can go about it, right? First way you can go about it is going to the banks, meet relationship managers, tell them what you do, and then lock them in as a contact. Or second way you could do, my favorite way, is go to LinkedIn.com. And when you go over to LinkedIn.com, what you want to do is you can add relationship managers and then you can send them direct messages. But here's the thing. A lot of relationship managers, they work regional. They may work in New York and only could take care of the tri-state, maybe only Florida, maybe only Texas. So we're going to go to LinkedIn and get all of them. So if we have a client in any state, we have them covered. Some relationship managers can take the whole United States, but we want to make sure they fully understand that, right? But here's the thing. When you reach out to them, you want to just ask them a simple question. Tell them something simple about you. Hey, I help entrepreneurs gain access to capital. Would love to connect with you just to see what your KPIs is so we can help each other. Right there is going to show, that first and foremost, you care about what their goals are and that it's a collaborative effort, right? So once you do that, pretty much now you establish a relationship with them. They tell you what their requirements are. You tell them what your requirements are. Now you have an agreement. Now you get to send clients over to them. And again, going through a relationship manager, what you get essentially is basically you can request the amount of money you want via DocuSign, right? So it's super important that we break that down. But here's the thing. A lot of people are going to say, yo, I don't have much time on my hands. I have to add them and I have to wait for them to add me back to send a message. But here's another way you can go about it, Kevo. You can download LinkedInPremium.com. You can download LinkedIn Premium. And once you download LinkedIn Premium, you can send them a direct message without having to add them. So $69.99, you can send them a direct message. Wow. Would you say it's worth it? $69.99?
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Because I have relationship managers I've made over $200,000 with, right? I made money with them because I was able to send my clients to them. So it's a hack, right? And then here's the thing. These relationship managers, they don't request any money. You're helping them with their KPIs. And KPIs is just helping them get to their goals and because they have metrics as well. Maybe they need term loans. Maybe they need auto loans, right? Maybe they need installment loans. So we pretty much help them get to their goals. One hand washes the other. Both wash the face. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that's what it's all about, right? And getting in those right environments. I'm always going to go back to environments because your environment matters more. Your environment matters more than your thought process. It matters more than your inspiration, your motivation, anything like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we take advantage of that and get in those rooms. And just to give you, can I give you some more game?
Give me some more game.
So listen, here's a beautiful thing too with American Express. A lot of people don't know with American Express, if you have the American Express Platinum card, you have your own personal concierge service. So let's say if you got a nice young lady you want to take out to dinner, what you can do is reach out to American Express, to their concierge service, and they'll go and call and book you a reservation for dinner. They'll go, if you're looking for a nice pair of Louis Vuitton, I know you wear a lot of Louis, right?
Yeah.
If you looking for a nice pair of Louis Vuitton sneakers you can't find it in your local area, you can call the concierge service, they'll help you.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, you can literally have a conversation with them. They'll go in, even if the restaurant is booked. I was in Hawaii. We went to go. It's a famous spot called Mama's Seafood in Hawaii. They were booked for months. I called the concierge service, and they were able to book an appointment for me and my wife to go to dinner.
Damn.
So it's like we don't understand what we have in front of us when we leverage credit. This is why credit is better than debit, right? Because with debit, guess what? If you go and spend some money, you're not getting points. You're not getting anything. And let's just say, for instance, somebody don't fulfill on a service. When you go to dispute, the dispute process takes way longer than a credit card. Why? Because the credit card is their money. They're not playing that. They're gonna go fight harder for their money than yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the game that we're giving, and we're teaching people in the 5-day actionable steps to take their life in their hands.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's all about who you're around. It's all about who gonna give you the game. See, a lot of these gurus, what they're gonna tell you is, 700 credit score can get you approved. Nah, it's deeper than that. It's the profile. The profile matters more. It's the comparable credit. It's the credit age. So many factors. Is the business properly structured? Not everybody with a 700 credit score can get funding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're pretty much breaking that down. We'll be showing people on the 5-day how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I know one thing about you, Kevo, is you invest a lot of money in yourself.
Yeah.
One thing you said is you spent over $300,000, right?
Yeah,
on yourself per month.
Yeah.
And it's like the average person is waiting. They're paying attention to us, right? They're paying attention to everything we do, right? And then they don't want to lock in. And then what happens is they don't understand the most important thing is time. How to get to your destination quicker. Yeah. How do you get to your destination quicker? A lot of people are sitting there and they think YouTube, they're going to learn from YouTube. But YouTube, you can't lock in with Kevo because you can't ask Kevo a question on YouTube.
Exactly.
You can watch him, but you can't ask a question. But if a lot of people don't understand that in order to get transformation, it requires transaction.
Exactly.
So you got to spend, because when you pay attention. A lot of people don't understand. When you pay attention. That's when you lock in. So I was broke when I locked into my first mentorship, right? I was broke. I sat down and I looked. I was like, yo, this is $7,500. I was working a 9 to 5, and I ain't have it. I pulled out of my 401k. To invest in that mentorship. But I said that was my last. I got to run every single play. Anything they give me, I got to take action. And I was able to change my life in a year and a half.
Wow.
The average person can't do that. The average person can't do that because when they ask for that amount of money, when you get the bill, you like, nah, I ain't that serious. I don't want to do it. But I was willing to go through the wall. I had to look at my family and say, yo, you trust me? All right, cool. I'm about to run the play. Right. Don't worry. I'm going to be able to change our life. Now we have higher projections. Why? Because we're doubling down on loving on the people. We're obsessing over other people's problems so much that they're willing to dig in their pockets to pay us to solve it for them.
Right.
That's how you get rich. The problem is a lot of people are broke, Kevo, because they obsess over their own problems. You got to obsess over other people's problems. If you obsess over other people's problems, they will pay you to solve it for them.
Exactly.
When you see somebody broke, it's because they're selfish. They selfish. That's what it is. I'm selfless. I'm able to do that. Yo, can I give them a little bit more game, though?
Give them
so
some
I want
game.
to talk about credit unions, right? I want to talk about credit unions because a lot of people don't understand that credit unions are nonprofit. And we can leverage pre-approval tools to get credit unions, right? So here's the beautiful thing about credit unions, right? When you go to a credit union, they're going to approve you for multiple products. They're going to pretty much break it down. They're going to approve you for multiple products so you can get more than one product. You can go for auto loan, an installment loan, right? And you can grow with them. So I've seen a lot of people do the pledge loan with Navy Federal. A lot of people use the pledge loan with Navy Federal, obviously, to establish a relationship with them. Because if you ever want a bank to take you serious, in order for them to take you serious, you got to make deposits.
Right.
So when you go and get a pledge loan, right? When you go and get a pledge loan, you can go and get a pledge loan, all right, right? Once you can pay off 90% of it the next day, and now you have an established open account. But it don't stop there, Kevo. Right. Let me give you some game. What you can do is you can add a co-applicant onto your pledge loan. A lot of people talk about pledge loan, but they're not talking about adding on a co-applicant. So now you could call a brother, a sister, or you can even sell it to a client, right? Yeah. When you add them on as a co-applicant, now both of you guys got a primary account of how much money you invested into that pledge loan, and you got your money back because you took out 95% of it. So now both of you guys got a pledge loan. So these are the things that they're not teaching you that we're going to be teaching on the 5-day. You know what I'm saying? And then one more thing, too. When you go into pledge loans, you can go to, it's called American Consumer Council. And when you apply on American Consumer Council, you can use a code. The code is Andrews. And with that code, it'll give you access to over 85% of credit unions throughout the United States.
Damn.
85%. Because a lot of these credit unions require you to be in clubs, require you to be a teacher, require you to be multiple things. But with American Consumer Council, all you have to do is use the code Andrews. It's free. You'll have access to all of them.
Damn.
Now you can go and run the play over and over and over. But on the business side, we want to make sure that we're going around and we're pretty much establishing that relationship with all of these banks. Because, again, there's multiple banks we can go to. You got Truist, you got American Express, you got Amex. Here's the thing, the average person, what they're going to do is go, when they need money, they're going to frantically apply at 5 or 10 places. And what happened is, not knowing, now you got 5 or 6 inquiries just on Experian, or 5 or 6 inquiries on Equifax or TransUnion. What we do is we apply horizontally. Why do we apply horizontally? We apply horizontally because it's strategic and it's smart. Let me break it down for you, Kevo.
Right.
We want to go and get one inquiry at Experian. So let's just say we go to Amex, it's Experian. Then we go TransUnion, we go US Bank. Then we go Equifax, we go Truist. That's one inquiry across the board. Now I know I can go for another 1 inquiry across the board, another. So that's 9 places I can go to for 3 inquiries. The average person, they frantic, they just applying everywhere, but they don't understand the mathematics behind it. They don't understand the formula. But if you break that formula down that way, the banks don't know. So here, imagine this, right? You in a club, right? You meet a nice young lady, right? You having a good time with her. You talking to her and everything. And you like, yo, listen, y'all vibing with each other. You're having a good time. But then you see another nice young lady you like. You turn around right in front of her and talk to her. That's how the banks feel, essentially, when you have so many inquiries. They see you shopping around. It's like, nah, I'm not going to give them funding.
Right.
That's like playing the woman in front of you that you're talking to, the nice young lady you like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Makes
So I'm
sense.
teaching them. I'm teaching you how to break those things down and understand it strategically in order to elevate your life and change your life. You can only grow to what you're exposed to. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to get in these rooms, you know, because here's the thing. I was broke a year and a half ago, but I came down to Atlanta and I was able to see other individuals who had Lamborghinis. I never seen a Lamborghini in the Bronx.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never seen a Lamborghini in the Bronx. I never seen a Rolls Royce in the Bronx. And if it was a rental. But I was able to come down to Atlanta and see people driving Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, Ferraris, right? And they owned it. And I said, yo, this is the environment I want to be in. Because I want to be in environments that inspire me, not tire me. Because I understood if I stood in that environment, it was going to inspire me. Does that make sense? Because I understood that I was being selfish to my family if I would have kept them in the hood. I understood that. So I had to go and invest in myself. I had to invest in my belief system and grow and become better all around. So it's like I'm constantly getting better. And this is why I tell all my students, I'm constantly investing in myself. I spent over $200,000, you know what I'm saying, in myself, right? In mentorship, elevating myself. So it's like when I give you a price point, it should be a win for you. Because I'm giving you all the information I learned, everything I've went through, and I'm able to give it to you, right? At a way cheaper rate where you're able to lock in and elevate yourself and change your life.
Right.
A lot of people don't know, like when they make those, when they invest in us, right? Yeah. They don't know that they locking in on themselves. They're not locking in on us. Our life is not going to change. Right. It's just it's a payment. It's a payment fee to see if you're serious. Because when you pay attention. So here's the thing. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, elevating your life. That's why in the 5 days, right, in the 5-day challenge, we're going to break down how to change your life in real time, how to elevate, right, and how to obsess over other people's problems so much they're willing to dig in their pockets to pay you. We're going to be going over credit repair. We're going to be going over age corps, how to leverage them. We're going to be going over funding, how to run a proper sequence. And we're going to tap into AI. Because a lot of people don't understand. You know, I spoke to a couple of my guys back where I used to work. You know what I'm saying? Right. A lot of them got laid off. They got laid off because of AI.
Oh, damn.
It's crazy. They got laid off because of AI. Because here's the thing. AI is changing right now. They have now these AI agents where they can act as employees. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be teaching our students how to, if you can't afford a virtual assistant right now, maybe you can leverage an AI agent.
Right.
So this is what it's all about. We're pretty much going to be loving on the people, giving them everything, right?
Right.
It's for them. And it's free. It's free, Kevo. At the end of the day. You see, we sauce you up today. We gave a lot of information for the people, right? The people going to see it. They're going to be motivated. They're going to be inspired. But who's going to take action?
Exactly.
They say the difference is between the top 90% and the top 1 is that the top 1% take action. The top 1% is going to run it every single day. And here's the thing. When you run an established business, because a lot of these gurus, they teach in plays. We're teaching you how to run a real business. It's boring running a business. It's because you're doing the same thing over and over and over. We're building systems. And systems just stand for save you time, energy, and money. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it's all about. This is how we elevate. This is how we change things. This is how we take our lives in our hands and take the others' lives in their hand. And then take somebody with you. Educate them. Take them to that next level. Show them what's possible. And that's what we're doing. We taking people with us. Like you just seen one of my mentees, she was in here. Because she was able to obsess over other people's problems, her goal this month is $50,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's damn near the average salary in America is $40,000, Kevo.
No cap.
$40,000. What can you do with $40,000 if you got bills? You still got to travel. You still got to work. And guess what? Like, the economy's changing.
You still got to eat.
You still got to eat. You can't afford. So I have mentees that's making $50,000 a month.
Fire.
Because they're obsessing over other people's problems. It's no longer about them. It's about their clients' problems.
Right.
We help people, and that's in the tax industry, right? We help them because what happens is people in the tax industry, they only make money from January to April. What are you doing after January and April? How are you top down selling your client? How are you walking them through a journey, right? We have to walk our clients through a journey, right? After we do their taxes, maybe you need funding. After funding, maybe you need somebody to help you in a mentorship, right? To elevate. If it's funding, I'm gonna take you to my guy Eric Crutchfield, right?
Okay.
I mean, if it's real estate, I'm gonna take you to my guy Eric Crutchfield. If it's funding, you may come to me and Ali. That's the class.
Man.
Yeah, we ain't holding.
I'm learning.
Back. Yeah, we not holding nothing back. We not holding nothing back.
I'm like, damn, I can't even believe it.
Bro, we on a Kevo podcast, so we got to make sure we give out the true value and the value that people need. Because a lot of times, right, our people, we may say, yo, but you know what? But the thing about credit is, the reason why I love this industry, let me tell you why, is because you can be a felon. My favorite clients, I tell people, I like felons. You know why? Because it shows you that we're on an even playing field. With this industry right here, this credit allows you to be on an even playing field. So what happens is a lot of time we so used to blaming slavery. We blaming the white man. We blaming everything else. Nah, the blame game doesn't get you anywhere, right? But when you are, for example, right now, you could be a black, you could be a white. It doesn't matter. It's about what's on that profile. A white guy could come in and the black guy could come in. The black guy could get approved because he has that established credit. He has that profile. He has that good resume.
Right.
The white guy, if he comes in and he has late payments from all things that's going on for the last 3 months, he's not getting approved because he's a liability. You'll get approved because your profile says otherwise. It tells a story to the lenders. This guy is not getting nothing because the banks are showing that he can't pay nothing back, right? But let me tell you, like I said, why felons are my favorite. Because it's to change their mindset. So when you get a felon, when you're a felon, you turn that F. Now it's time to turn that F, which is a felony, to E, which stands for entrepreneurship, right? So you turn that felony to entrepreneurship. By doing this, you're able to then go leverage information from the banks, leverage capital from the banks. It doesn't matter that your record is messed up. It doesn't matter that this job doesn't want to hire you because you're a felon. Somebody could deny you. And a lot of times when people are used to making a certain amount of money, it's hard for them to get back into society to start making $8, $10 an hour because they so used to making such type money. But guess what? Now you're able to create a lane for yourself. You have the same equal opportunity as everybody else by leveraging the credit. So it does not discriminate at all. It's called equal lending opportunity.
Yes, sir.
A lot of us don't know that. Equal lending opportunity. Whatever somebody else can get, you can get the same thing. Exactly. So there's no more excuses nowadays to yo, I just came out of jail. It's none of that. Because a lot of guys nowadays, it's sad to say, but women are killing it right now. Women are killing everything. Hair industry, Kevo, hair industry.
Yeah.
Every industry you see online, woman is killing it. OnlyFans, whatever it is, they killing it because they know how to leverage, right? But then a lot of our guys nowadays, a lot of guys are not doing so well, right? A lot of guys, I'm seeing them, man, they laying on their couches, man. They wife come back home. Guess what? They fake sleeping, man. You know what I'm saying? They fake sleeping. They acting like they sleeping, but they know they not. You know
what it is, bro? I think that they just want to continue to just watch. They just want to watch. They just want to watch it. Like, they're going to watch this podcast and they're going to be like, man, I've been watching y'all for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Like, what are you doing now?
Exactly. It's the thing is, though, I don't think that they want to really take risks like that. A lot of, like, more women are starting to take more risks than men. You know what I mean? That's what's really going on. Because I'm looking at it like, I talk to a lot of people every day, and I'm just like, they're like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that, but it's a lot of excuses.
They want to spend the money. Why are they afraid to spend the money?
I don't know. Some people just want to look at the money instead of me. I'm more of a person that, let's say if I make $100,000 right now, I'm putting 50 back into myself. I don't want to see the 100 in the bank. I believe in myself that much to say, I can be on a Jay-Z level. I can be on an Elon Musk level. I could be a billionaire. You know what I mean? So in order to do that, I have to be like Coca-Cola. Why is Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all these places still spending $1 billion a month on ads?
Let me say something real quick. Bandman, the crazy thing is that visibility always beats ability, right? There's a lot of people in this world, they great at what they do, right?
Yeah.
They great at everything.
Yeah.
But nobody know who the hell they are.
Exactly.
How can somebody know who the hell you are if you're not going to put yourself out there, right? How can you reach your highest potential if you're not going to put yourself out there, right?
Yeah.
It's only right to put yourself out there so you can maximize on it. A lot of people nowadays, right? If you notice that, right? They in certain positions, but they say, you know what? I'm not going to bet on myself. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Why not bet on yourself? Because at the end of the day, you are your best investment, right? If you want to get the respect that you need, you got to bet on yourself. Exactly. You want to get the lady that you want, you got to bet on yourself. Because a lot of guys are looking at these ladies and you know they out your league.
Yeah.
Why they out your league? Because you're not making the money. You don't have the actionable steps. You're not doing anything with the information. Ladies nowadays, they want high value men. To be a high value man, you got to go there and put that work in. You can't just sit there from the sideline looking at the best ladies out there, the ones that you want, and just drooling from the sideline, but you know you can't talk to them because the moment you try talking to them, they look at your social media, or they look at who you are, or they start to ask you certain questions because they vetting you, and they realize that you're not the type of guy for them. They don't want to talk to you no more. How can you provide for the lady if you can't provide for yourself?
You know what I looked at? So you guys know, real estate portfolios, right?
Mm-hmm.
One day I woke up and decided, looked at my Instagram and said, this is my portfolio. This is going to be, when I show somebody, they're going to say, wow. You know what I mean? And that's, your Instagram is really like a door opener. Like, it's somebody instantly be like, they can either say, I give them 50,000, 100,000, 10,000. So depending on how good you make your Instagram look, your whole lifestyle look is how you're going to get paid. You know what I mean? So we got to kind of like think about it like that in that phase as well too, though. You know what I mean?
What does poor mean?
I spent $1 million 1 month on ads, and somebody said that was stupid. You could have did this, you could have did that, you could have did this, you could have did that.
How much you made on that? God damn.
I probably made about $4 million. But remember this though, the person who said it was poor.
What does poor mean, man? What does poor mean?
It always they're gonna tell you to do things that they can't do and won't do anyways because they don't understand. Why are you spending that much money on ads? The same reason why all these other big brands, candy companies, are spending billions of dollars on brands. You know what I mean? Still to be seen. Like, come on, bro. It's been years. They're still making us see them. Yeah. They're still just like, okay, for instance, we go inside of Walmart right now. Just for those placements to be where they're at, cost. Like let's say if all three of us come out with a brand tomorrow, who cares, right? We got, let's say if we worth $100 million, we come out with a water brand tomorrow. Who cares? You know when they're going to care when our water brand is in Walmart. When you check out, that's when people are going to care. Yeah. How many people have we met that have a lot of money, but we don't know who they are? They be like, oh yeah, I can show you, but we don't know who they are. I want to be the asset. I want to be the real estate. I want to be the Bugatti. I want to be all that myself. I want to wake up, like I told you, I wake up every day, no less than $40,000. No, that's at the less, because I became my own asset. I dump. If I make a couple $100,000, I'm dumping it back into myself. Maybe I need to spend more money on TikTok. Maybe I need to spend more money on Snapchat. Sites where people sleep on, I'm spending money on. You know why? Let me tell y'all a secret real quick. So, for instance, when you go to Dubai, do you think people be on Instagram or Snapchat more?
Probably Snapchat. Probably a different.
Snapchat, because Snapchat, everybody is Muslim and they don't want their pictures on Instagram all the time. So they like to do their little thing and it goes away in 24 hours. You get what I'm saying? I never knew that until I got to Dubai. Crazy. But I run 50,000 a week over there. So when I go over there, I'm the only person in the mall, people coming up to it, getting pictures, which is weird because I'm not Arab.
And you're not even from out there.
You get it? So that's what I'm kind of trying to give you game on is, it's like you never know who might see you, and fame goes a long way because everybody's over there rich, but everybody's not famous. So it's like a rare thing. It's like, oh my gosh, that's him. I seen you. You know what I mean? It's almost like, it's strange to say, but it means a lot. You know what I mean? It means
and
a lot.
That leverage that gives you an opportunity to have more opportunities
deals,
out there.
like whatever, free flights, free stays, free food, literally. You know what I mean? Like, just because, like I said, there'd be a lot of people with money. Everybody has money, but they don't understand fame. You know what I mean? They don't understand the internet. That's why we have to master the internet, understand the internet, understand why people look at certain things for a reason. When we go on the internet, we're going to go look at the video with the most views. We're going to listen to the radio. We're going to like the song that we hear the most. Why? Because that person or that label paid for us to hear it the most. You think that it's just a great song? No. You know what I mean? So when we go on Walmart, whatever we see the most got paid the most to be, oh, you want it shelved here or you want it shelved here? You know what I mean?
And they paid. About that one.
They paid. So everything is advertisement, brother. I'm gonna give you a little secret about the rap game. I'm a rapper, right? But I'm an entrepreneur as well. So You ever see a rapper, like for instance, let's say Drake. The reason why Drake is always climbing for years and years and years because he continues to put $2 to $4 million per month probably in his music, right? You see some rappers kind of falling off because the labels was dumping money, and they're like, shit, they got big-headed, like, I'm big. I don't need y'all to keep spending all that money on ads. And you see them slowly decline. That's because people don't understand you have to keep dumping money into yourself to stay at the top. Why? Because it's a lot of competition being created every day. While we're sitting on the podcast, somebody is turning into a credit and funding and a podcaster right now. But But are they going to catch us? Probably not, because they're not going to spend the money we're going to spend to stay on top.
Now that's value.
You know what I mean? I'm just giving you the game. And how I look at it, like, every day I'm like, damn, how much more money do I need to spend to stay on top in 2027? Because my mind in 2027. And I'm knowing somebody's coming after my spot. But I know that they don't want to spend the type of money I'm spending. You understand what I'm saying?
So how do you keep your spot?
So you keep your spot by investing more money. Just like Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They keeping their spot, ain't it? People still buying
McDonald's too. McDonald's game. Everybody know McDonald's.
But you can, if y'all watching, anybody's watching, just go Google it. How much they spend on ads? Ask ChatGPT. To this day, McDonald's been around for a long time. Why are they still spending billions of dollars?
That's
to keep their spot. You know what I mean? And we are the same. We are the exact same. Ain't no different. Ain't no different.
We got to run it like a business. That's all it is. We got to run ourselves like a business. We got to treat ourselves like a business.
Yeah.
That's all it really is.
Because people right now don't know who to go to, who to choose. Why Kevo? Why this? Why that? Why this? You know? But when they start seeing, certain angles, they say, oh, wow, damn, bro gave some crazy game. He gave some crazy game. They're going to be like, oh, man, I gotta rock out. I'm going to be on that 5-day challenge. You know what I mean? And that's what separates everything. You know what I mean? When they see, like, all right, this on this level, that's on that level, because we all pay attention. We're going to go to your Instagram. We're going to go to his Instagram. We go to my Instagram. And we all look like, okay, I see what they got going on. They taking trips. They doing this. They doing that. You know how people is. Because remember, the outside people, they work jobs. They do 9 to 5s. But at the same time, they want to get their credit fixed. They want to take trips. They want to be rocking Louis and knowing. Like, for instance, y'all got some great mindsets. And a lot of people that's watching, they don't, their mindset, before that they can think on something, they have to go ask someone else. They got to be like, yeah, man, I heard the guy say I can get funding. Hey, bro, you think I can go get funding? Now, his bro never did funding or don't know what funding is. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. They might not, you know what I mean? They don't have the mind of their own. That's why they don't get successful.
It's that broke mindset. It's that broke mindset. Exactly. That's what it is, because you know what it reminds me? It's that broke mindset, because what happened is they say you surround yourself with 6 millionaires, you're going to be the 7th one, right?
No cap.
You surround yourself with 7 millionaires, you're going to be the 8th one. You're going to be the next one, right?
Yes, sir.
But that's the thing about it. The mentality is a lot of people, we're surrounded by people that have that broke mentality. We're surrounded by people that's talking about what LeBron James did. We talking about, we watching people talking about what Dwight Howard did and his wife and shit like that, right? But when are you going to surround yourself with people that's taking shit to the next level, right? That's having completely different conversation. When you going to be around 7-figure earners, right? When you going to be about people that's having people that's in different rooms. That's the type of shit that change your mentality and change your mindset, because you're around all of this. So that becomes your norm now. But a lot of people are still stuck on the block. So sometimes it takes for people to change their environment, to step outside, take a trip somewhere, and be around there for a little bit. If you love your people, right? A lot of us say we love our people, but we still leave them in the hood. Tell them, yo, you know what? I love you, man. You my brother. You my day one. Come out here and travel and come see me for a little bit, right? Come see me and let's see how it goes, right?
So did you guys end up moving from your hometown?
So what motivate me, man, is like, coming from the Bronx, New York, in the city, went from doing door to door, knocking on doors for 5 or 6 years, in New York City, a most aggressive city, right? I risking my life every single day, right? To then COVID happened, changed my life, started investing into mentorship, spent over hundreds of thousands of dollars in mentorship, right? And the information we spend and we giving right now, it's a lot of information that we just spent thousands of dollars for, right? So that, and then from going from shelter to shelter, my mom got 7 kids, just hopping from shelter to shelter, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just having a hard life, not wanting to go back for that. Every time I think about that and I reflect on it, I'm like, damn, man, I can't go back for that. You know what I mean? So it's like me giving this advice is it's motivating me to give this type of advice because as long as it changes one person's situation and it motivates one person to say, you know what, I don't want my family to struggle through that. I don't want my family to no longer struggle. Or I don't want my family to ever go through that. I want to give my family the best life as possible. I want to be able to travel the world with my family instead of relying on a job that's going to tell me when to clock out, when to take vacation. I want to live the best life I want to live. That's why we do that for our mentees. Exactly. All of our members in our program, we want to make sure that they able to change their life and they able to live the best life that they could possibly live. Because even last I just came back to the U.S. like 2 weeks ago, but I was in Africa working. This gives us an opportunity to work wherever the hell we want. I was in Africa, work for a whole month. Last year, for 3 months, I was in Africa. But guess what? Business still operated. I was still able to take care of my family. I was able to fly my wife. I was able to fly my daughter to Africa and still live life. But that's the type of things we want people to live. We want people to live life. We don't want people to wait until their 70s or 80s to start dying, to start being on the beach with their saggy chest. We want you to start being in the beach now, right? Why should you wait until the retirement age, when retirement age is getting much older, to start living the life you want to live? This is the time now. COVID done changed the game where so many entrepreneurs are being made. This is the time that people need to take action. They need to change their life because we changed our life, and it can happen to anybody. Anybody could change their life. They just got to be willing to change their life, man.
For sure.
And that's basically what it is, man. It's free. That's the thing about it, Kevin. We really giving back. Like, we doing this for free. Like, we giving information for free because a lot of times we know that people may not have it, or they may say, you know what, it may be a scam if I drop some money. But what if he told you it's free to join? It's free to join and free to change your life because the information we're going to be giving you guys that day, y'all can take it and then run actionable steps. Y'all can run a business from it because we giving everything. We couldn't give everything today because we got an hour segment. The information we going to give, and we used to give it out, it's going to take days and days. It's going to take so much time, right? Because this is some things that we've been doing for a while. So we're going to be giving to the people for free, Kevo. We're going to give it to them for free. All they got to do is show up, make sure they show up. They got to lock in, put it on their schedule. And that's all we want from the people because at the end of the day, me and Jay is good. We good. But it's our way of giving back. You're only as good as the others that you help make successful, right?
Right.
So for us right now, it's all about giving back to the people so that they can change their life how we change our lives as well. That's it, man.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
We can bring you. We can bring you to, man, Kevo. We can bring you to the water, but we can't make you drink.
Yeah.
We can give you a hand out, but we won't. We want to give you a hand up. So giving people a hand up to show them exactly the route that we took to get to our destination. Because if I gave you right now a GPS and I gave you a map right now and I told you which one would you rather, you know, the old school map back in the days, you look at it, you're like, where am I going? If I gave you a GPS and I gave you a map, you would rather take the GPS because the GPS will tell you exactly how to get from point A to point B and exactly how much time it's going to take you to get.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we do for our mentors, our mentees, and that's exactly what we're going to do for the people for free, man, for free.
Wow. All the information going to be in the description, man. Make sure y'all follow these fellas, man. They gave a lot of free game. Man, I'm talking about probably one of the best podcasts, man.
We appreciate it.
Man, y'all dropped some real sauce, man. And I know a lot of people going to love on it. Famous and Wealthy, man. We out.
Get it.
How many?